Hey everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Elite Dangerous. In the last episode we completed a search and rescue community goal with resounding success, and now we're going to claim our reward for our hard work. So, we're going to have about 48 to 50 mil. I think it's 48 and a half to be realistic. So that's enough to buy our chieftain and customize it a little, but it won't be enough to optimize it fully. For that we'll need more money, because there are things to consider like thrusters and power plant and frame shift drive. Although right out of the box you really don't need much for it to just be good at bounty hunting, which is what I like about it. But if you want it to be something else, then that's when you're gonna have to start engineering it. I tried looking for a system where it'd be slightly discounted, but I couldn't find any, because there's a power that gives you a 10% discount, or a percentage discount, on all ships and modules. I can't remember his name, but I'll put it as an annotation right about now on screen. So, I guess while we're going to Zavija to get ourselves our brand new chieftain, I might as well treat you all to a few cinematic shots, plus this week's galactic news. I will see you in Zavija. For now, enjoy.
Week in review. Here are this week's major stories. Terrorist group, the League of Reparation, has committed 3 further murders in Federation space. The victims include 2 members of the Pilots Federation. In both cases, the commander's ships were laser-branded with the words, "For Jameson." Commodore Riri McAllister of the Alliance Defense Force has been appointed to the Council of Admirals, filling the vacancy left by the late Tully McBuchanan, who was killed by the League of Reparation. McAllister has pledged to support efforts against the terrorist group responsible for her predecessor's death. Meanwhile, entertainment journalist Solomon Helios has been speculating about the romantic life of Princess Aisling Duval, who is understood to have spurned the advances of Admiral Denton Patrias. 3 potential suitors have been identified: Senator Caspian Leopold, anti-slavery campaigner Yael Torrido, and Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester. In other news, Los Chupacabras, an independent faction based in the LFT926 system, has announced plans for a musical event, known as the Jailhouse Rock and Blues Music Festival. In support of the event, Los Chupacabras have placed an open order for quantities of beer, tobacco, coffee and narcotics, and have promised to reward pilots who deliver these commodities to Meredith City, in the LFT926 system. Authorities in the TNC system have reported a sharp increase in the number of criminals operating in the area. To counter this threat, the autocracy of TNC has placed a kill order on all ships on its wanted list, and has promised to reward pilots who deliver bounty vouchers to Janibek of Port. Finally, 2 community-led initiatives reached successful conclusions this week. In the core systems, an operation to recover survivors and salvage from a convoy attacked by pirates was supported by scores of independent pilots, while in Colonia, hundreds of commanders delivered micro-resources to the Colonia Cooperative, which is investigating the region's potential to support larger populations in the future. And those are the main stories this week.
Okay, so here we are at Wheelock Ring to purchase our fancy new chieftain. Go ahead and go to the shipyard. Cycle on through. Not quite. There we go. Look at her. Ain't she beautiful? 19 mil. Not quite 19.5 mil. Shame that I couldn't find a system that gives a discount. Now, the boost sound on this thing is absolutely amazing. Like, I've already heard the boost sound on the Fer-de-Lance, like, whoo boy. I don't know which one is better, to be honest with you. It just has this kind of oomph to it. And that's what I like about it so much. Now, as far as customization goes, I went with 2B railguns, although I should have gone with multi-cannons now that I look at it more. Because you're not using the large hardpoints to their fullest potential. Because there's only 2B railguns. I wish there was like a grade higher of railguns. But hey, that's just how the cookie crumbles. I would have gone for a 6A power plant, but unfortunately I do not have, well, I chose to spend it on more important stuff. We will get a 6A power plant soon enough with prismatic shields, because prismatic shields are really, really important. I was just taught that. I think it works, yeah, it works differently when compared to other shieldings. Much more bulky. I'm buying module reinforcements just to give that extra protection to my frameshift drive and other key modules like my power plant and my power distributor. I would have engineered this thing a little bit more, but we don't have the necessary materials for it, which was bad on my part. Realistically, I should have planned for the bonus week a little bit ahead of the time. Doesn't matter. Still gets the job done, just not as quickly as I would have liked it to. Yeah, you see, like, as you start to go up in grades, modules start getting a lot more expensive. So it's up to you to kind of pick what you want at the time. We'll get this chieftain fully optimized, don't you worry. It'll just take some time and some grinding. Nah, I like grind-heavy games. So now we're headed down to the Black Hide and the Weird system to get my chieftain's pulse lasers engineered with just something. Like, it's not going to be grade 5, in fact, it's just going to be grade 1, but any little bit helps. I think after a little bit, what we're just going to want to do is just farm a bunch of materials to further optimize my chieftain, because it'll carry me through a lot of stuff once it's fully built. And heck, I might even want to replace the pulse lasers at some point. But this is just a chieftain build that will get the job done for bounty hunting. We're not looking for efficiency at the moment, we're just looking for cash. I was kind of careful when approaching, because this planet is especially dark. I opted to not go for the docking computer this time, because I want to get better at docking myself. I also have to remember that the Chieftain is a medium-sized ship, so I can't just boost into space stations willy-nilly like I used to. I mean, the shielding that we have now can take a bit of a beating, but I'd rather not damage my ship in the process.
Echo Victor India. Automated flight control protocol initiated. Please submit a request.
Landing a medium-sized ship isn't too hard. It's just a little nuanced in how you want to do things. And another thing to note is that the Chieftain is a fairly fast ship. Even without engineering. You can get stuck on things, like I do right here, for instance. So I'll just have to back up. Yeah, if I didn't have shielding, I would take quite a few hits of damage. Well, maybe not that much, but still. Yeah, as you couldn't tell already, I still need a little practice docking by myself. It's those spherical stations that I really have trouble with, though. It's not like docking itself, but just finding the entrance to it. There we go. Took a little bit of elbow grease, but we finally got it.
Docking procedure completed. Ship secured. Greetings, Commander.
Let's get these pulse lasers engineered, shall we? Unfortunately, he doesn't offer railguns. That's one of the later engineers. Even though it's just like tier 1 of efficient weapon, it'll get the job done. Don't have the materials for grade 2, or else I would have done that instead. I'll just have to go crazy with material gathering over the next few days. But we got enough sulfur to get the job done. Soon enough, we'll have grade 5 on everything. Although it'll be a bit of a laborious process. But once we do, then the Chieftain will last us for a very, very long time. Okay, got all that done. I go ahead and check out the experimental effects, but we don't have any of the required materials for that. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to leave it like it is. As much as I would have wanted an experimental effect. Nothing really interests me in the power distributor department for right now. Although we'll come back to it. Yeah, and we don't even have some of the materials needed for some of these upgrades. Okay, so with that out of the way, we are now in the Tianchi system? Yeah, the Tianchi system for the combat community goal, which is basically just kill pirates. Should be able to make quite a lot of money. See, you do get drops sometimes, like that anomalous bulk scan data. Not very rare, but still very useful. Looks like a Cmndr. Well, this was something I did not expect. And as you'll see here in a moment, these guys actually invite me to their wing. So it'll be pretty fun. This guy's got a Imperial Cutter. I wonder how long that took him to rank grind.
Target shields offline.
Go ahead and take care of this eagle right here.
Target destroyed.
And there's the wing invite. These two gentlemen were just doing the community goal for credits. Oh, and if it looks weird like that, I'm just typing with the PS4 controller, which is quite a laborious process, because you gotta select your keys everywhere by just using the PS4 controls. I guess that's one of the merits of playing on PC, or just using a keyboard. There's just too many keybinds to memorize with PC. Because, well, I gotta give you PC guys, props for having the ability to memorize like 20 different keybinds at once. Yeah, that's something that I would not be able to do. Got ourselves a Cobra. One thing that I need to work on is my aim with the railgun, because that sucks. If you got any tips on how to properly aim with the railgun, feel free to post them in the comments. I'll probably just swap out the 2B railguns with something like a multi-cannon. I think that'd be better in terms of damage output. Even though the railgun is fantastic at taking out shields. But the pulse lasers just make it so much easier, especially if they're gimbaled. Because then it's just a hit scan weapon and you don't have to worry about aiming. I'll get better at aiming as time goes on. Practice makes perfect. And that's dead. Okay, so here we are back again, this time with a wanted Imperial courier. Shouldn't take too much. Shields aren't that big of a problem with this one. It also helps that I'm in a wing, obviously. I really should work on keeping ships in my line of sight, because you don't want them targeting your modules like your power plant or your frameshift drive, because if they do get those offline, your only option is to do an emergency reboot, which leaves you even more vulnerable. If they do manage to get your frameshift drive or power plant, don't freak out, just do some evasive maneuvers and hopefully you'll have enough time to activate emergency reboot. If not, then I don't know what to tell you, you're just done for. That's why you want to put things like module reinforcements to bulk up your modules so that they have more health. There's also some resistance buffs that you can just engineer into your modules to make them harder to shut down. And that's the Imperial Courier taken care of. Bleh! I got my L's mixed up there. Imperial Courier. Imperial Courier. Elven Mars. Bleh. I swear, English is my native language. I don't use a script for these videos. Yeah. I'm getting better at commentary every single video. I used to be a nervous mess the first couple of videos. I have no idea what a random Taipan fighter is just doing out here in the hazardous red zone. I didn't even get a bounty from that. That's just wimpy. But here we have a wing with a Fertilance here. Go ahead and take care of this overpriced space Dorito, eh? I don't know why I haven't sold mine yet, it's just empty. I'll probably keep it for later though. I've seen what a Ferdy can do if it's properly engineered. It's a monster. And it has one of the best sounding boost noises in the entire game. I've said this a million times, but the sound design in this game is absolutely phenomenal. You must spend hours every single day making wonderful sounds. I should actually target subsystems next time instead of just hull. It'll take a bit of getting used to with a PS4 controller to just target subsystems with. One advantage of playing PC, I guess, is like you can just press keybinds to target certain subsystems, making it really easy and efficient. I do get a good few hits with the railgun on this Fertilance. 230,000 credits though, that is a nice bounty. Took a little bit, but we found our next target. This time it's a Viper Mark III. I haven't actually flown one of those. Wonder how it flies. Someone who, if you want to tell me how that works in the comments, then feel free to. Because I might want to play around with one at some point. Small ships are definitely more capable. Can't wait until we get into the big boys like the Anaconda. this'll do for now. Plus the Anaconda alone is like almost 100 million if I'm correct on that.
Target destroyed.
Powerful Torment. Well, if that isn't a wanted name, then I don't know what else is. Well, there's a wing of 3, so... Rule of thumb, don't engage a wing of 3 on your own. Unless you have one of the more bulky ships, don't you? I mean, if you're in a high res zone, and then you'll have the Federal Security Service, then yeah, maybe go ahead and do it if they're distracted, but if you're on your own, it's probably not all that likely that you'll take out the whole wing.
Critical message.
You get a random job offer here, which is just weird. And it's nothing too exciting either. They need, well, I think they need to make the random job offers, like, really high priced.
Target destroyed. Shields
It'd make it much more interesting.
under attack.
Got 2 more ships to deal with. With the Chieftain, it really doesn't matter if your shields go offline too much, because it can just soak up so much damage. I mean, it's a glorified hull tank, and that's what I love about it. It can take quite a beating before you have to leave a Hezres zone. It's not like the Vulture, where it can't take a beating at all, and you have to rely on evasive maneuvers and chaff grenade, well, just chaff in general. But if you're really technical with how you move, I suppose the Vulture is very good. You just have to be very careful with it.
Target destroyed.
Here we have the Python. These tend to have a decent amount of cash on them. It shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Although one thing that's a bit of a challenge is other players, namely players that want to melt your face off with lasers or put holes in you with multi-cannons.
Target shield.
If things tend to get a little hairy, don't hesitate to just high wake out of the res zone. You do this by just going into your left comms panel and selecting the system. Now, the difference between high waking and super cruise is just you're getting out of the immediate area, whereas with high waking you're getting into the next system, if that makes any sense. And that's just faster than getting out of the current area. Ooh, look at that, another tasty 164,000 credit bounty. Got some anomalous bulk scan data right there. A really common engineering material used in a lot of stuff. I think, if I can remember correctly, it's used in frameshift drive upgrades. Or no, that's atypical wake data. My bad. Got another wing of 3. We're cleaning up pretty good, though. These guys are pretty nice. You'll see here in a moment that they actually offer me some tips and help me out a little
Target
bit.
destroyed.
But for now, it's just a matter of cleaning up these enemy ships. If you guys have any tips on how I could improve my commentary, then feel free to give me some suggestions. Like, I'm a lot better now at commentating videos than I was before, but I could still use some work. I'm a little socially awkward. Done. Not as much bounty as I would have liked, but yeah, take what you can get. Plus I can just use some of these bounty vouchers to unlock another engineer, which we'll probably do next episode. I never actually flown in a Cobra Mark III before.
Target shields offline.
I just went to the Vulture. Could have been useful. Yeah, you see how tiny these ships can get? Which makes it kinda hard to snipe with the railgun. Although you could just go up close range and hit them point blank with it. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't do that.
Under attack.
It's great with flying shields.
Target shields online.
Yeah, this Cobra, even though it's elite, it's kind of like if a Chihuahua starts nipping at your heels. That's how insignificant damage that this Cobra does to me. Although it just used a shield cell bank. I need to be more watchful with my pip management. Like, put pips in the engines when necessary, not just have them on weapons all the time. There we go.
Destroyed.
That elite Cobra is taken care of. Robin Jubber. Interesting name. You're gonna die all the same, though.
Scan detected.
Went a little too fast there with the boost.
Scan detected.
One of my inspirations for Let's Playing this game is Sleepless Nights Studios. Like, I loved his Elite, well, I still love his Elite series, but he was really the first YouTuber, along with Obsidian Ant, that really got me interested in Elite Dangerous as a game. Because just the way that he presented the game to me was just inspirational. Like, he would goof off from time to time, but he's pretty good at bounty hunting. I'll leave a link in the description for his channel. But yeah, he's a really cool dude and you should go check him out. He does a lot of space-related content, space games.
Scan detected.
You're gonna wanna... I'm watching it too.
One thing I gotta practice with is aiming with the railguns.
Oh my god,
Not you,
Grateful
Dad.
just it circles around.
Targeting disrupted. Warning.
Oh, what did you hit him with? And Grateful still has a ring, 2 rings. I mean, that just shows you what engineer shields are doing.
Cannot comply. Shields online. Cannot comply. Shields offline. Taking damage.
Plasma.
After he fired the missile, he said that it was enough of like a show of force to put an idea into my head as to what a fully engineered chieftain is supposed to do, and it's like so cool. The amount of tankiness and just firepower that it'll have once I'm finished building this thing is just gonna be sick. Like, I'm gonna be nigh untouchable when it comes to PvE. I'll just need to work on my dogfighting skills a little bit more. But they had to go, so thank you, commanders, for bounty hunting with me. But I'm about to get into another wing here in a moment. I was marked with the hostile
Target destroyed.
thing in the bottom right corner because I think I accidentally hit one of the commanders. No big deal. It'll go away eventually. It's not like I had,
Scan detected.
well, accidentally hit him enough to the point where I would get a bounty. And now, because of how the new crime and punishment system works, bounties are a bit of a nuisance. And you don't want them. And there we have the wing invite. Now, for some reason, when I joined these commanders' wing, they had mics, but they weren't very good quality mics, or just there was a problem with the connection. You'll see him talk about it here in a moment. But here we're in another wing with people. I don't know if you can notice this at all, but it starts to get a little choppy in terms of frame rate. I'm on the normal PS4 and not a PS4 Pro, but I'm sure if I was on a PS4 Pro, it'd be mitigated a little bit. I don't know if it's server side or just graphics wide. It's probably just server side.
Cannot comply. Target destroyed.
Haven't had the chance to engineer this chieftain very much, but it gets the job done. I know that there's some live commentary in here, but I'm just going to talk over myself because my PS4 mic, well, my PS4 headset, even though it's a good headset, it's okay if I record this for YouTube, right? Yeah, you can hear me there. It's a little less good quality. But I was just asking for permission. The guys, the people were totally cool with it. Yeah, see, they have problems with mics and stuff.
Under attack. Target shields offline.
Yeah. Sorry if you just heard that. That was my dog barking in the background.
Target destroyed.
I should really figure out a way to minimize background noise or just record late at night. So that way it's just minimized or non-existent. My dogs are a bunch of loudmouths. Yeah, you can definitely see that it starts to get a bit choppy.
Under attack.
Oh, I just thought of another advantage that PC players have over PS4 players. They can set keybinds for throttle speeds. I don't think you can do that with a PS4 controller. Although you don't know until you try. Like you could have a certain... No. All the buttons on the PS4 are taken up, so... Yeah, you'd probably just have to use a keyboard. Go ahead and finish off this vulture. And dead. 60,000 credits. Not bad. Back again with another vulture. Yay! These things are all too common, aren't they? And it's like trying to hit a small pebble with a sniper rifle when you're trying to hit a vulture with a railgun. Like, you just don't do that. You just use gimbaled weapons. Or just get up right in its face and do it that way.
Temperature critical.
Nightmare, what an edgy name for your ship. Well, no. That's just the name of the NPC. And get a nice, juicy 150,000 credit combat bond for it. Got a python. Just fry its shields with the railguns.
Scan detected.
And done. Look at all that money, though. That is clean. Pythons and vultures everywhere.
Scan detected.
The coffee man. Gee, I wonder what he has in his cargo hold. narrowly miss him right there. This is gonna sound obvious, but generally the bigger the ship is, the easier it is to hit with a railgun. I know I sound stupid for saying that, but... yeah. Just whittled down the Python's shields with our pulse lasers and railguns. I'm always used to having my weapons on the right side, so it kinda threw me off. And sometimes I accidentally use the kill warrant scanner instead of firing my railguns. It's all good though. Look at those fancy laser beams. I wonder what those are. Probably beam or burst lasers if I had to take a guess. Nice job.
Target cargo dropped. Target
Look at that. That is just a ton of money right there. Got two more though. Yeah, for whatever reason, these Cmndr's mics weren't just picking up. Like the last wing that I was in, they were all perfectly fine and I could hear them crystal clear. But apparently not for these guys.
Target cargo dropped. Target destroyed.
One more.
Scan detected.
Yeah.
Target destroyed.
So after all that bounty hunting, we decided it was just time to head back to the station and claim our rewards. I thank you to all the commanders who decided to help me bounty hunt today. I just got a fine because I rammed into the station a couple times. It's no big deal, but we're set to make about 1.6 million credits. Very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. And that will put us into the top 75 percentile of community goal contributors. Not too shabby if I do say so myself. I'm just thanking the commander for all the good work that we did. It's always good to pay respects to your fellow commanders when necessary. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day.